Thanks, Dave. Another Monday morning, and on WATD, that means another life recipe for success. And we turn things over to our co-host and WATD resident life coach, Danny Lynn.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today? You focused?
I'm going to try to be.
Well, that's today's success ingredient, is the power of focus.
Life recipes for success and focus. Yeah, I know. This one is a tough one for me in some ways.
Well, I wanted to talk about this because last week I went bowling for the first time in a long time. And it was incredible when you're in front of that bowling lane and you have to visualize, throwing the ball down and hitting all the pins. And I was just amazed at how much when I focused and I really put my energy, visualized the positive and was only focusing on the good, that I did really well. And then when I wasn't focused, when I was scattered, and I was just like, whatever, that's what happened. The ball would go into the gutter. Yeah.
So sometimes, that can be the way in life, right?
Exactly. So
you want to end up in the gutter? No, you
don't.
don't.
End up in the gutter, no.
So it's about, focusing on your task. And that can be the same thing in sports as in life.
Oh my gosh, yes. There's so many different things we could talk about when it comes to focus. We could talk about multitasking, which all of us do.
Yep.
We could talk about the power of focus within your work and your organization, as far as maybe having a niche and why that's important. At the end of the day, it's important to focus on what you do because it's about the energy you put forth. And when you spread yourself too thin, you aren't able to really be efficient. So when you think about focus, what comes to mind for you, Rob?
For anything?
Well, yeah, just the power of focus. What comes to mind for you?
Well, I guess when it comes to focus, it means concentrating on something for me. Whether that be, focusing in career is doing a good job on the radio. And in that sense, I think I was very focused.
Yes.
I knew what I wanted to do. I didn't go to college not knowing what I wanted to do. I went there specifically for a reason. So that way, I'm in good shape. Other things, not so much. When I'm working, different thoughts come in. I have trouble, I had trouble writing papers, for instance. If some other thought came in my mind, I'd want to go research that instead of researching the topic I'd be interested in. This is the same thing. It's not very good when I'm driving either. You want to focus on the road, but sometimes different thoughts pop into my thing. So I have trouble completing one task sometimes.
Everybody does. Everybody has a tough time focusing on one task at a time. I mean, I was the queen of multitasking for many, many years, and I thought that by multitasking I was accomplishing more things. Well, studies are now showing that when you're multitasking, you're not being... I guess our brain is only programmed to function at one thing at one time. We're actually not programmed from our cerebral cortex point of view to focus on multiple things at once. So when you're spreading yourself so thin, you're not being as efficient. You're actually draining your energy more because it takes more energy to do more things at the same time.
But most people do like, or at least thought that they were somehow better by multitasking, right? Isn't that a skill? Like you were proud of your skill.
I was proud of that.
I'm the multitasker, but maybe it's not the best thing.
Right. So basically the reason why staying focused is so important is really about a lot of things. Time management. We only have so much time in a day. And when we're focused on doing a task, we get it done properly the first time, and it's done the right way. It's also about energy. When you're focusing on multiple things all at once, it does drain your energy, your mental energy. It's about efficiency. You'll be more efficient if you focus on the task at hand. And again, our brain is only programmed to function on one thing at a time. Our human brains can't handle multiple things at the same time. So basically this week I really want you to pay attention to the things in your life and start to focus on aspects and do one task at a time, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. And one of the things too I noticed that you mentioned down here is a tip, or at least an assignment, is to think about the things that cause distractions. You talk about removing distractions, right?
That will be definitely one of the homework assignments for sure. Basically, you got to get rid of the distractions. We have our email, we've got our text message, we've got our phones. I was actually doing research. If you have a Mac, they have this button. It's called the freedom button, which actually, if you push it, it completely distracts you. You have no internet access at all.
The freedom button.
The freedom button. Imagine that. So you can't actually access the internet for a certain amount of time.
Well, it makes a lot of sense, and I've said that too. Sometimes, when we're having a casual conversation or something, I'll see you texting, right? You've done it.
Oh, I'm
you
a
do.
queen of
You're guilty?
multitasking. Very guilty, very
Okay.
guilty.
And I'm like, well, boy, but you're again, you're just thinking about so many things, and as soon as
Mm-hmm.
that thought comes in, you want to take care of that, or else you'll forget about the appointment or whatever you're
Right,
doing.
right, yeah, I know. So this week, try to.
That's why I like it when you lose your cell phone.
I know, right? This week, I want you to focus on focus. And when it comes to goal setting, try to be clear. You have to have discipline to stay focused. Sometimes you got to reset some of your priorities. Get rid of distractions. Get some sleep. So these are some tips when it comes to staying focused. And that's about it for the week. This is Danny Lynn, your resident life coach, sprinkling your life with a little success.
And don't forget, too, you can find out more online, right?
That's right, liferecipesforsuccess.com.
Life Recipes for Success.
Thanks for joining.